a very warm welcome to It's Pointless with Parashar, and today we have with us today Akshara Damle, who is a celebrity psychologist. So ये psychologist भी हैं और celebrity psychologist भी हैं, तो इसके बारे में हम जानेंगे कि exactly एक celebrity psychologist होता क्या है. अब just to put things in perspective, to give you some context, there's always been a sort of stigma associated with seeing a psychologist. तो जैसे ही हम सुनते हैं कि मैं किसी साइकोलॉजिस्ट को कंसल्ट कर रहा हूँ या किसी साइकोलॉजिस्ट से मिल रहा हूँ, लोगों का एंटेना खड़ा हो जाता है. अच्छा, एंड देन यू नो देयर इज अ सर्टेन कॉन्वर्सेशन कॉल्ड मेंटल है क्या, मतलब द पीपल स्टार्ट रिलेटिंग टू यू एज समबडी हु इज पागल वागल है शायद. सो इसे साइकोलॉजिस्ट को देखने की जरूरत पड़ती है. नाउ विद दिस as a context in the background, we want to have a conversation with Akshara, not just about his profession, but something which caters to or relates to or matters to a lot of people today, which is dealing with stress and mental health issues that come along with our modern daily lives. So इसी के बारे में बातचीत करेंगे, and we'll try and have fun. We'll keep it in English and Hindi to make sure we're able to pander to a larger audience. So Akshara, welcome. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Parashar. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
Yeah, it's always nice to have people who are interesting. Whenever I pick a person to do an interview, and this is something that I discussed with Arvind, that कि कोई थोड़ा weird type का होगा तो बता यार, कोई थोड़ा weird type का बंदा होगा तो बता, उसको लेके आते हैं. So this is going to be very interesting in terms of having you be here with us today. So शुरुआत से शुरू करते हैं. कैसे how did you get into the whole field of psychology? How did you decide on being a psychologist of all things?
Acha, this is a long journey. In fact, I was a student of biotechnology in my graduation. तो वहाँ से लेके so then I thought of shifting my masters to psychology. So that's where many people, in fact my HOD had written a very detailed email कि सच्ची में उन्होंने पूछा था कि have you gone mad that you are a gold medalist in biotechnology and you are going to psychology for masters, what has happened to you? तो ऐसे सवाल पूछा जा रहा था. लेकिन one of the strongest reasons why I chose to get into the field of psychology was because when I was in graduation itself, people would come and share their agonies with me. ऐसे ही अगर चाय पे बैठे हुए हैं तो लोग आके बोलने लगेंगे. That were not my only friends, but some acquaintance or some random people also would come and share their agonies, and I would give some random suggestions that would come to my mind. अब मुझे काफी चीजें काम कर रही थी, लेकिन मुझे समझना था कि ये लॉन्ग लास्टिंग है कि कभी कभार काम कर रहा है, कभी कभार नहीं कर सकता है. तो इसीलिए मुझे इसको मतलब प्रॉपर तरीके में सीखना चाहिए था. तो इसीलिए आई शिफ्टेड टू MSc in psychology, and then that is how I entered the world of psychology.
Right. So मतलब आपके HOD को लगा ये पागल हो गया because he wants to get into psychology.
बिल्कुल.
Got that. And what was the response and reaction of your family members, your parents, your siblings, or cousins, everybody?
Yeah. So my parents were fine, but the only question was, will you be able to make a livelihood out of it? तो ये सवाल था, क्योंकि मतलब when I chose to get into psychology, it was all about maximum you can become a lecturer, because practice was not a very lucrative profession at that point of time, and even today it is not so lucrative as some of the other professions are. So that is a question that always there, but they were always supportive for my interests and my passion. So parents की तरफ से ज़्यादा कुछ आया नहीं है. But मतलब other relatives, family members have asked, अच्छा ये अभी पागलों को डॉक्टर बनने के लिए जा रहा है या ऐसे कुछ. हाँ, so they used to nag me, they used to belittle me, because I am the first generation psychologist in my family, whole family. तो वो सब चल रहा था, लेकिन मुझे अंदर से एक बहुत strong belief थी कि this is my field, this is where I belong, and that is how I strongly went ahead with my choice.
Right. So on a lighter note, मतलब you felt कि I want to be around people who are crazy. मैं पागलों के बीच ही रहना चाहता हूँ. Right.
Yeah.
got that. So now, if you look at the way probably things were about a decade back or two, in terms of how people looked at mental health issues and how they look at them today and how they deal with them today, do you think we have come a long way in terms of, there's a difference between how people looked at it and how they're looking at it now, or is it still the same?
Absolutely, there is a huge shift in the way we are looking at mental health issues. जैसे कि आपने बोला कि instead of being around pagal log, now psychologists are contributing in so many different areas. तो पहले जो था स्टिग्मा तो अभी भी है. I'm not saying that it has gone all over.
Right.
Rather, it is there with many educated people, many learned people, etc., etc. Like even doctors, lawyers, or some really people who are in very good positions.
Right.
Lekin, if I objectively look at it, the kind of the way were looking at psychology maybe 10, 12 years ago was more with अगर कोई इतना severe condition है तभी जाएंगे. And people would always go to these mental health hospitals like NIMHANS in Bangalore, where and it is a crazy situation if you go to these kind of hospitals, because you see so many varieties of severe cases, and
Right.
hence people would get very traumatized to see these things.
Right.
लेकिन अभी काफी लोग ओपन हुए हैं. इनफैक्ट कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में भी काफी लोग बात कर रहे हैं मेंटल हेल्थ के ऊपर, स्ट्रेस के ऊपर, या बर्नआउट के ऊपर. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर कमिंग अप स्लोली एंड स्टेडीली, एंड देयर आर मेनी पीपल हु हैव been speaking that physical health and mental health go hand by hand.
Right, right. So if you were to look at somebody who is otherwise healthy, leading a normal life, or they're well balanced rather, okay, they have a career of their own, either they're working or they're business owners or professionals, what are some of the things that people who are mentally strong practice? And for the benefit of our viewers, ऐसी क्या बातें हैं या ऐसे कौन कौन सी चीजें हैं जिनका लोग ख्याल रख सकते हैं जिससे कि they can be mentally strong as well? What are some of the things that you could give them in terms of snippets of what is possible?
Bilkul, I think this is very important because prevention is always better than cure. And if people have certain practices on a regular basis, definitely they can avoid getting into many, many mental health issues. It could be simple sadness turning out into a depression at a later point of time, or simple fear turning out to be an anxiety or panic attack. So all these kind of things can be resolved at a much earlier space. इसके लिए मैं एक और चीज बताना चाहता हूँ, हाउ ए पर्सन कैन एक्चुअली कीप अप मेंटल हेल्थ. उसके लिए मैंने एक फॉर्मूला बनाया है.
अच्छा.
जैसे कि आप अगर मेरा TEDx देखेंगे तो उसमें रिलेशनशिप के लिए एक फॉर्मूला दिया है.
अच्छा.
वैसे मैं मेंटल वेलनेस के लिए एक फॉर्मूला लेकर आया हूँ, उसको शेयर करना चाहता हूँ यहाँ पे.
Sure, please.
So the formula is called as REST formula.
What is that?
मतलब हाँ, रेस्ट मतलब सिर्फ विश्रांति नहीं है, उसके अलावा बहुत सारी चीजें हैं.
Right.
तो R stands for reflectivity and resilience.
Okay.
रिफ्लेक्टिविटी का मतलब ये है कि जैसे हम हर रोज आईने में अपने आप को देखते हैं.
Right.
We all want to look very good in front of others, right? So in the same way, don't we all want to look very healthy and mentally in a very balanced state in front of others?
Right.
So that is where I always suggest that let us always reflect on our thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Okay. So when you start doing that, that's when you will quickly get to know if there is any off track. अगर कोई थोड़ा सा भी गड़बड़ है तो आपको तुरंत समझ आएगा.
Okay.
तो समझ आने से क्या होता है कि you can come back to the normalcy. That is called as resilience. The quicker the resilience you have, the better you will be. So reflectivity and resilience come as R. Okay. Then the second aspect, that is equilibrium of ABC. अब सवाल ये है कि नॉर्मल से क्या होता है, कि वापस कहाँ तक आना है. तो उसके लिए जवाब ये है कि इक्विलिब्रियम ऑफ एफेक्शन, बिहेवियर एंड कॉग्निशन. एफेक्शन का मतलब है इमोशन, कॉग्निशन का मतलब है थॉट प्रोसेस, एंड बिहेवियर इज ऑल अबाउट एक्शंस दैट वी हैव. अब इसमें इक्विलिब्रियम का मतलब क्या है कि both positive and negative emotions are part of our life. Now, how far you are able to have or keep them in equidistance so that you can feel happy and then come back. You can feel sad and then come back. You can feel angry and then come back. So this is a mixture or mixture of all types of emotion. That is called as equilibrium state.
Right. Right.
Then the third aspect, S stands for sense of satisfaction, fulfillment and gratitude.
Okay.
जिसके पास सेटिस्फैक्शन होता है कि जो मैं आज एक दिन में जो काम कर सकता हूं अगर उसको पूरा कर दिया तो मुझे बिल्कुल सेटिस्फैक्शन रहेगा. काफी लोग अगर आप देखें तो काफी लोगों को ये सेटिस्फैक्शन ही नहीं होता है पहली बात.
Right.
तो तब दिक्कत आता है बिकॉज दे आर ऑलवेज worried that I'm not getting this job satisfaction, I'm not having satisfaction in personal life, I'm not feeling that I always feel that I can do more, but I'm not able to do more. So this problem can be addressed. The fulfillment part talks about, am I content with what I have, both materialistically and non-materialistically? क्योंकि हमारा आदत है कि कंपेयर करना, पड़ोसियों के साथ कंपेयर करेंगे, रिलेटिव्स के साथ कंपेयर करेंगे. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ कंपेयरिंग, कैन वी हैव दैट कंटेंट विद आवरसेल्फ एंड व्हाट वी हैव? Then gratitude is all about being thankful to others who ever has contributed in our life. And the T stands for true perception. True perception is like perceiving things as they are without attaching your meanings and your interpretations to it. So when you have rest formula, आपको बहुत अच्छे से नींद भी आएगा. और जब अच्छा नींद आएगा तो उसकी वजह से भी आपका mental health भी अच्छा रहेगा.
Got that. This is very interesting. Very interesting. Right. So, reflecting on yourself, making sure that your positive and negative emotions are perfectly in balance, having gratitude. These are some of the things that I picked up for myself. Because I'm somebody who's never satisfied and never happy with the status quo. I'm always complaining. My wife, in fact, tells me that you keep complaining all the time. You're never happy. And I'm like, boss, if you're happy, you're dead. There's always more to achieve.
That is different. Can I add something to it?
Yeah, sure. Do that.
It is in psychology, it is called as positive goal discrepancy.
Right.
मतलब जो आपको फील हो रहा है, आपने कुछ चीजें अचीव करना था वो कर लिया, अब आपको और बड़ा दिख रहा है. Like you have climbed a hill or hillock, then you will see a bigger mountain. Then you want to scale that, then you will see a much bigger mountain, which is called as positive goal discrepancy, which is absolutely fine, which is healthy.
Which is perfect, huh?
Absolutely.
I'll tell my wife that I'm on the right track. No problem.
Got that.
So tell me, I'm sure that there are a lot of experiences you would have had. They're very funny, being a psychologist. Things that you may have done or you were forced to do as a part of your profile or as a part of your job role. If you could just share something very funny.
Can I tell? I mean, some people may feel this very silly, like it was a very serious problem in my life.
Right, sure.
पहले मैं आपकी तरह क्लीन शेव करके आता था, मतलब काम पे. हाँ. And I look very young. मतलब my clients used to ask me, can you really understand our problem and solve us?
Right.
So that's when I was wondering, what is making them to feel this?
Right.
And then I started realizing, okay, they are seeing that I'm too young to solve the problems of their life. And that is when मैंने ये दाढ़ी छोड़ी है और मैं कभी पूरा शेव नहीं करता हूँ.
Right.
So
you can in fact go for a salt and pepper look. If you look at my hair, this is natural, of course. But you can go for a salt and pepper look. If you go to a salon and you can tell them कि भाई मेरे को
gray hair,
बुड्ढा दिखना है. I want to have some gray hair. So yeah, you can do that. You can do that. But then the threat is that if you're not married, you're going to have trouble finding a suitable partner.
Yeah. No, thankfully I'm married, but yeah.
Okay.
So लेकिन उतना बूढ़ा भी नहीं दिखना है मुझे क्योंकि I want to be young.
Absolutely.
So this was a small modification that I made for myself.
Got it. So tell me now, someone who's a psychologist and then someone who's a celebrity psychologist. So how do you distinguish yourself, and how can people consult you or get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you? That is.
Yeah. So celebrity psychologist is specifically because I have been treating so many celebrities out there from all the woods that we call sandalwood, Bollywood, Tollywood, Hollywood, all these woods.
All
The difference that I would like to specifically mention, what is so different or what is so challenging in working with celebrities is their life itself is different. जो हमें बाहर की तरह दिखता है, so it is all glamorous, it all like they are always celebrating their life. They are wearing some new attire, they have some new product that they are using, they are going to the resort and enjoying their life. All these things are appearing for the outer world, but internally most of them are going through lots and lots of challenges like loneliness, and they're always scared of what is going to happen next. And in the
right.
whole industry, many people do not consider others as their friends, and performance anxiety, तो बहुत सारे issues आते हैं, and in order to address them, a psychologist also needs to align with their life. So that is where the challenge for a psychologist comes from. It is very, very different from treating a normal human being like us. So
Okay.
that's where the, yeah.
Mhm. So,
Haan ji.
so if somebody, I'm sorry to interrupt, but so if somebody wanted to consult you, like a person who's like a normal entrepreneur, business owner, or professional, they could, right? And how do they connect with
Absolutely.
you? Yeah.
Absolutely. So in fact, I have my website, or I have my profile in Linktree. Maybe we can share it in the
So we'll do that in the description. We'll share the details for sure. Yeah.
yes, so that they can reach out to me. And in fact, I offer a free discovery call to anybody and everybody who wants to have a quick conversation with me for half an hour, so that they can reflect on themselves, and then see what are the challenges that they are going through and excel in their lives.
Awesome. That's amazing. So you offer people a 30-minute discovery call to actually experience the way you deliver whatever you have to offer. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Got that. Got that. So, and to conclude or sum it up, I just want to quickly have your comments on somebody who's just starting off their career, okay, and they want to, practice psychology and work as a counselor or a psychologist. What are some of the tips that you have for them?
Very important question, because as a country, we need more psychologists today, because more and more people are going through mental health challenges, and human resource is the biggest crunch that we have in the space. So
Right.
I always appreciate any youngster who is passionate about the world of psychology to get or take this as their profession. But only one thing that I expect from them is complete dedication and commitment to this field. Because please don't come to this field because you can make your livelihood or you can earn through this, because more patients are going to be there. But you have to be committed to the field, because it's a very, very sensitive work that you are doing, and the person who is coming to you is extremely vulnerable, and you have to handle them with care. And self-preparedness is very essential, but this is a beautiful field, because I'm getting so much of satisfaction every day, and the kind of joy that I get to see the results in my clients is
Right.
immense. So
Right.
always, this is a beautiful space.
Right. Feels like a gynecologist who delivers a new baby.
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
You can say that.
Got that. So, I'm sure, Akshara, that our viewers found this conversation to be very useful, hopefully a little funny as well. And they will have a lot of queries and concerns that they want to have be addressed. So we're going to share your connect details in the description, such that people can connect with you and ask questions to you, and take things ahead from there. Now, I really want to thank you for, again, joining me here today and having this conversation. And most importantly, because this is something which I am very passionate about, which is psychology. So yeah, you were saying something.
Yeah. I wanted to thank you for coming up with this conversation, because the way you ask questions are really interesting, because it's not some regular questions that are framed and asked. There is a lot of organicity in that. So I really appreciate the way you have taken this conversation, and I'm sure a lot of new things have come up in this conversation. Thank you so much.
They have, I'm sure. Got that. So for our viewers, thank you very much for being here today. And I am sure, and I hope and pray that you love this conversation. If you liked it, feel free to like it, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments. Also, share this video link with your friends and family so they can take advantage of what Akshara Damle has to offer. right? So once again, this is Parashar for It's Pointless with Parashar. Thank you very much. You have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.